how brain operates within our own maps of the world and how brain operates in others' map of the world, and what is its relevance to everyday communication that we have personally and professionally. Brain has got few principles, that's how it operates. Brain needs completion. When you see a web series, okay, episode after episode, you probably binge watch because you want to know the end of what is there in that series. If you are stuck in a traffic signal and if it is just showing red, you sometimes go mad. You keep honking, or probably you become restless in some parts of the world. But imagine if the same red signal has got 180 seconds timer which is running down. You know that after 180 seconds it's going to be green. So that way you are more peaceful waiting at the traffic signal. If you knew that this is what is going to happen tomorrow, then probably your brain will not take any action today because it has seen the future. Because life is full of surprises, you look forward to tomorrow. Brain needs completion. You want to see what happens tomorrow. So this, in relevance to communication, when you give somebody half communication, probably they don't take action. We did discuss the goal of communication, which is action. When brain does not have complete information, probably it will not take action. This is for self and for others. Now, brain cannot process negatives. Interestingly, brain cannot process negatives. Yeah, I did say it, brain cannot process negatives. Think of yourself, just close your eyes and listen to me. Don't think of a pink elephant. I'm sure you're thinking of a pink elephant. I repeat, don't think of a pink elephant flying in the sky. I'm sure you're thinking of pink elephant. I'm saying to you, don't think of a pink elephant flying in a blue sky on a Monday morning. And I'm sure you're still thinking of a pink elephant flying in the blue sky on a Monday morning. What is happening to your brain is, it is not able to process the word don't. And that's exactly what happens with kids. If you have small kids at home, and if they are jumping around, and if you tell them don't jump, what is the likely response that you're going to see is, they will jump more. As a teacher, if you are telling your student, do not forget to do this homework or an assignment, very likely that student is going to forget. That is because you told, the instruction that brain is picking up is forget doing homework. Don't is not processed. When you say don't jump, don't is not processed. What is processed is jump. So the brain will jump. So when we speak to people with injunctions, not conjunctions. That is, tell the brain what to do, don't tell the brain what not to do. So if I say don't bang the door, the visual that you're getting right now is a door getting banged. Now, hear the statement. When I tell you, please close the door softly or gently, the visual that you're getting is a door gently closing down. Now, that's the difference. When you want people to take action for yourself, then speak what brain should do, not what brain should not do. And the third principle is, brain likes what is similar, but notices what is different. And I'm sure you have already noticed that the watch that I was wearing on my left hand has come to the right hand. Didn't you notice? I'm sure you have noticed. Because you have seen me all the while having watch on my left hand. Now when you see watch on my right hand, there is something different. So brain likes what is similar, but notices what is different. Every day, your wife or your husband is treating you in a particular way. And if there is any change in the expression or any change in the way they are treating you, brain notices the difference. Let's say I'm your colleague, every day I'm coming to office, I have a different kind of a haircut, and that gets immediate attention. If I start growing my beard in a particular way, people notice. When I started growing my French beard, everybody almost noticed. Not that they interact with me every day, but the moment they saw me having a French beard, they started telling, hey, you look good, or this suits you, or this doesn't suit you. They started noticing because brain likes what is similar. They have seen me in a particular way, and when I change something, it notices different. So when I communicate with people, there is a template in a way that I'm communicating. When I change it, it gets noticed. In a way, it can be bad, but in a way, it can be good. So if I'm talking very positively, it gets noticed. If I'm talking resourcefully, it gets noticed. If I'm being very enthusiastic, it gets noticed. If I'm talking a very different life perception than what I'm already speaking till now, then it gets noticed and it gets registered in minds of people. And brain needs specific command to take action. If I tell you that I would like to go for a vacation, and you will say, where? I'll say, okay, Europe. Then the next question you will say, Europe, which country? Then I'll say, okay, Spain. Then you will say, how many days? Then I'll say, okay, probably 3 nights and 4 days. Then you will say, whether in spring or whether in summer, whether in winter, and how many people? How do you want to travel? So unless I give you all the information, everything in specific, everything in detail, probably you will never be able to plan my vacation. Yeah? And when I'm talking to a team member, let's say I'm telling him that I want everything to be completed by tomorrow. And he'll say, what do you mean by everything? Now, if I don't specify what it entails for me to call everything, then probably he will do nothing. Because anything is nothing, anybody is nobody, and specific is terrific. Only specific commands are processed in the brain. And brain does not recognize between good and bad. And I really mean it. Now think of this. If I travel to a foreign country and I eat a food that is absolutely have no relevance to my acquired taste, and either my body will throw up or throw down, because that's not the acquired taste. I had a bad food. But if somebody tells me something bad about my colleague, something bad about my relative, or something bad about my daughter or son, I will nurture and harbor that particular information. So your brain is probably not as intelligent as your stomach, because your stomach knows what is good and bad for you, and it gives you instant response. But your brain, you can probably take anybody for that matter and then keep giving them negative energies, and the brain almost every time accepts it, nurtures it, harbors it, and makes a wider negative perception about what you have told. That's how we brew hatred. That's how an entire population of a country dislikes an entire population of another country. That is because from their childhood, from their upbringing, because of the media, everybody is telling something negative about the other country. That is how a particular race of people dislike or hate another race of people, because that's how you have trained your brain, because brain does not know what is good and bad. And we also say that, maybe I should have not done this, but it is not maybe I should have not done this. My unconscious brain is working on what is already processed. And think of this, brain does not differentiate between what is imagined and what is real. Now, if I ask you, what will you do if there is a snake near to your feet right now? So probably you will say you will run. Probably you will say, I will get up from this place. Or probably you will say, I will take a stick and throw the snake out. But the question is, where is the snake? Snake is probably in your imagination. Imagine yourself, flying in the air, flying, maybe walking on the clouds. So if you imagine walking on the clouds, your brain allows you to walk on the cloud. It does not know what is imagined and what is real. And that's exactly how we fear on something that is never going to happen. Let's say there is a pandemic. Let's say there is fear of losing job. Let's say economy is crumbling, and the fear brews within me of expecting that something wrong is going to happen to my job, my career. That fear is false experience appearing real. False experience appearing real. And this false experience appearing real is in my mind. I can fear that maybe my relationship will go bad. I can fear that I can lose job. And whatever I'm imagining, probably in the world of law of attraction, we say that, what you visualize, you materialize. What you visualize, you actually manifest in reality. So you can actually imagine good things for yourself and make it happen. You can actually fake a great thing happening in your life and still get it materialistically. You can also help your team members imagine something really great happening, and then probably they will materialize in their real world. There is a great story of Indian cricket team when they were playing Champions Trophy in Sri Lanka. They were actually taken through a visualization process for imagining on the day of winning World Cup, how they have already won the World Cup, what people are telling them, probably what kind of felicitation that is happening to them. Everything was done exactly 1 year and 2 months before the actual World Cup. So that's the power of imagination that brain can have. So when you communicate to yourself or when you're communicating to others, you can actually use a lot of imagination to help people take action in the imaginative world, because brain does not know what is imagined. So I can actually imagine being the world's greatest public speaker, and imagine that how people are receiving me, how people have accepted me, how I've got millions of followers, I've become a social influencer. All of that I can imagine, and my brain actually starts taking action in that direction. And finally, and very interestingly, we give a lot of importance for intelligence, but how brain operates, the unconscious mind operates, which is the doer, not the thinker, but the doer, it is instinct over intelligence. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say there is a smoker who is smoking almost every day, and he knows what are the ill effects of smoking. Intelligence is there. Maybe he's seeing ads. There are some social campaigns that he is attending. Everywhere it is told. Maybe when you go for a cinema hall, you are shown that smoking is bad. So all the knowledge, all the information, he has got it. But when it comes to smoking, he smokes without paying attention to all the stored information that he has got. That is because instinct has taken over intelligence. Now, why take regular public? Think of a cardiologist. Think of a lungs specialist. Probably they know the actual ill effect of smoking. And don't we have cardiologists and lung specialists smoking all through the day? Probably yes. That is because even though they know in the intelligence that smoking is bad, their instinct is taking over the intelligence. Yeah. And when you communicate, if you can recognize people's instinct, if you can recognize the instincts in their map of the world and communicate to their instincts, maybe they will take actions faster. Maybe their actions are effortless. Maybe their actions are more resourceful.